Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Farah, and in today's video I'm going to be having a little chit chat about my October TBR. So I haven't made a TBR video in a while, only because I realized that I'm really bad at sticking to them, and I was getting embarrassed by that, even though nobody cares. Nobody remembers what my TBR was, and they're not judging me at the end of the month. But October is just one of those months where I feel very excited to read some of the books that have been on my shelf for a while. So I am going to try to really read what I own for the most part. There might be an ebook or audiobook thrown in the mix as well though. But these are some of the ideas that I had for October. It's a pretty big list, and I'm probably only going to get to 3 or 4 of them. But I hope it serves as some inspiration if anybody else is thinking of reading any of these books. First on my list is going to be a nonfiction pick of nature writing, and this is called Autumn, an anthology of changing seasons, edited by Melissa Harrison. And this is a collection of different nature writing essays, different excerpts from classic novels written by authors in the UK that depict an autumnal scene or vibe, and then also some poetry. So I've already read the spring and the summer anthologies, which I absolutely loved. And I'm really excited to this one because this is a transitional season, so there's a lot of change. So I do hope to start this, probably start at the end of September and continue reading it throughout October and November, just as a little bit of daily reading. I usually read about 10 pages or so a day so that it lasts through the whole season. So I'm very excited to get to this one. So this next one is an absolute priority. I'm going to make a huge effort to get to it this month because I keep saying I'm going to read it and then I put it off. But this is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and this probably isn't going to be the version that I read. I am interested in picking up the 1818 version text, probably the Penguin Black Spine edition. But just Frankenstein in general, I have heard so many good things about this book. It's nothing like I'm going to expect, probably. And I am absolutely 100% going to read this in October. I promise. I am going to read it, and I'm excited for that. Another book that I would really like to read off my shelf is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. This again is something that I've heard mostly good reviews of this. I think there's been a few people that didn't care for it that much, but it's just a book that I'm very interested in reading. It's been on my list for many spooky seasons, and I definitely hope to get to this one as well. This one is a really cool Penguin horror edition. I always struggle with that word. Horror. Anyway, I love this edition. I found it at a used bookstore this past March, and yeah, I hope I can get to it. So these are the 3 books that I absolutely 100% think I will get to. The rest are just going to be if I have time, or in no particular order. Okay, so this one I would love to read. This would be a reread for me, but this is The Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice, another classic. I remember reading this, I think in high school. My friend had all the books, and I'm pretty sure I remember it. I definitely saw the movie with Tom Cruise back in the day, but this is just one of those books that I really enjoyed at the time, and I really hope to give it a try. If I can find the audio though, I think I would try that, because that sounds like this would be a fun one to do on audio. This is another one that I have a hold on for the audio. I don't know if it'll come in on time, but this is part of a trilogy. This is a paranormal fantasy romance. I'm not 100% sure on the romance part, but this is called A Discovery of Witches. And I've had this book on my TBR for ages. I borrowed it from my sister, so I would like to read it and give it back to her. So if this one comes up on audio, this will be a great pick just to get in the mood for spooky season. Heard mixed reviews on this. Some people have really loved it. Some people didn't like it too much. So I'll be interested in getting to this to see my thoughts on that. I also have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and I started this on audio back in the spring. The audio wasn't working too well for me, so I decided to just physically read it. So if I have time, I would love to continue on with this. I made it a little ways through, and I just think it has that spooky circus, dark fantasy vibes that would go great for October. So if I can get to this one, I would be really glad. I'll be reading it eventually, but it just seems like a good time of year to put this one on the list. And nothing says fall like a nice Agatha Christie. So if I can get to Postern of Fate, this is part of the Tommy and Tuppence series that I'm reading right now by her. And again, I started this one on audio sometime over the summer. It just didn't work for me that well. The audio narrator is very good, but sometimes I find that an older, proper British accent by a man can put me in this hypnotic trance, and I start to lose track of where I am in the story. So I think this is going to be a book that I am going to be better off physically reading. Now, I don't have huge high hopes on this. I haven't heard too many great reviews on it, but it is part of the series I'm trying to finish, so I'm hoping to give this a go at some point in the fall. Next, we have another book in the In-Depth series by J.R.R, who is a pseudonym for Nora Roberts, and this is the 4th book in the series. These are police procedurals, crime, mystery, and I really have enjoyed them. I love the characters of the 2 main people we follow, which are Eve and Rourke. Eve is this tough New York City cop, and Rourke, her rich Irish husband, and they just have great chemistry and banter, and the mysteries are always pretty good. So if I can get to the next installment, I would love to get to this one. If I could find the audio, it would be perfect, but I can't. So this is next on the list. And then finally, this makes me so sad that I keep putting this off over and over, but it will be The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, part of the Lord of the Rings world. I had this on my list for my big books of summer, the whole series, but I just can't read fast enough to get to it. So this one I would like to do at some point in the fall. It probably won't happen in October, but it'll get read. It will get read sooner than later. I want to be back. I want to be in this world. You know, I love the whole story. So those are some ideas I have for October. Hopefully, like I said, I'll get to those first 3 I mentioned and then some extras in there as a bonus. But please let me know what is on your list for October. Do you like to do any of the reading events? I know there's Occult Detective October going on, which is really fun. I did that last year. I'm trying not to put pressure on myself this year, though, with any reading events. So if any of these fit in those categories, that's great, but I'm not making a huge effort. There's also Victober, which is to read Victorian novels throughout the month of October. And then, of course, there's the general spooky season, horror vibes, which is fun for everybody. So yes, please let me know what you're interested in reading this month. And I hope you guys enjoy whatever you read. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take good care, and thank you.